This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's go ahead now. So today we are going to see or discuss about OOTB properties and prefixes. This is first thing, and within this we will get one OOTB property. So I will explain about that property as well. Major INS key. So these two things we are going to discuss about today. Okay, so let's go ahead now and look into it. See, let me create one work object and go to the clipboard and show you some of the OOTB properties. Let's say, oh, this is not your application, right? What is your application? JPMC, okay. Hey, give me 1 minute.
Bharat, can you switch off your camera?
Yeah, hello. I am available now. Okay, we will just proceed now. I will create one case and I'll show you what are the OOTB properties which we are going to discuss about. Okay, so the work object data will be available on clipboard. So what is the name of the page where it is available? Am I audible everyone? Yeah, that is PY work page. Okay. My system is a little slow now. What is the reason? Okay, leave about this. I will go to clipboard. But if it is work page, I don't know what is the reason it is very slow today. Hang on, let me refresh it. Okay, so case has been created. Let me go to clipboard. So here we go to PY work page and you see the work object data. So in that I'll show you some of the properties. So these properties will be columns in the work table. So here you can see px create date time. So px create date time means it is going to hold a date time value when the object is created. What is the date in which it is been created and at what time on that day it is been created. By default we are getting GMT format. You can change this, that's not a big deal. So px create date time is going, it is an OOTB property which is going to hold the date and time value when the object is being created, and it will get stored into work table in the same column. If you go to backend and see with the same name, there will be a column. I'm not going to open the backend tables now, but as you know already, in the work table with this name, column will be available. So the next one, px create operator. Px create operator means the operator ID of the operator who has created this case. So the first one, px create date time, is when it has been created, and the second one is who is the operator that created this particular object. That operator ID will be assigned to OOTB property px create operator. And there are other properties. You should be able to tell me now, what is this px update date time? Someone please guess and respond. What do you think of px update date time? This is the property, px update date time. What do you think of it?
It will store the value of updated time and date.
Updated, what updated?
Work object.
Work object. So when the work object has been last modified, okay, that date and time is going to be stored into this column, and the property name is also same px update date. You can tell me, guess and tell me about this px update operator. What is this?
The operator who updated the case.
Last, most recent operator.
Yeah. You
On
should
object.
say the last operator means the latest who has have hands-on this object, edited this object. Okay, so there are 10 people so far who had worked on this object. Whoever is the latest one, so that operator ID, px update operator ID, the last updated operator ID will be assigned to this particular property. Okay, and apart from this, you know about this. What is the property PYID? Can you tell me what is this property? PYID.
Work object ID.
Work object.
Operator ID.
Will be assigned to PYID. And there is one more property called PZ-INS key. I will tell you about this. This is primary key of the work object. So PYID we have already discussed. What is that PYID? What is the key? Which key it is? PYID. I have told you.
Class key.
That is
Class key.
class key. While discussing about OBJ open, I told you state code, state name, state code, city code, customer ID from customer table. Similarly, work table. In the work table, you see PYID as a class key. Here you see one property called PZ-INS key, which is primary key. So the OOTB properties, whatever that we have discussed so far, are starting either with PX or PY or PZ. So all the OOTB properties which you see here have a prefix of PY, and the OOTB property, this one has a prefix of PZ, and the other OOTB properties here you see prefix of PX. So these properties which you have here are OOTB properties starting with PX, PY, PZ. So what is the meaning of this PX, PY, PZ? Let's discuss now. Just hang on, let me open the document itself. Okay. My system itself is slow, it seems. Okay, this is OOTB properties document. So I have whatever the properties that we had discussed, I have given all this and their meaning, purpose, what they hold and all. And here prefixes meaning PX property. See, PX property, it is identified as a special one, meaning that the values cannot be input by user in the HTML form. Let's say, for example, you are creating a section. Okay, you create a section. What do we do in the section? In the section, we have added controls, right? And you map it back to what? Map it back to properties. And you execute the flow. What is this? Okay, and you execute the flow. Generally, what would you do? You can input the values in the UI section. I mean, like, you create a section, flow action, and then flow. You execute the flow, then you can input the values. See, the properties which are the properties which are mapped to the controls should not be PX properties, because any PX property, if you map to any control in the UI, so the values cannot be input by the user in the HTML form. Means PX properties, if you're going to enter, that properties are not going to take the values. That is what been told about PX properties. Everyone clear with this? So the PX properties are OOTB properties. Those properties are special purpose PRPC will use, and you cannot input the values if you are going to use that properties in the HTML forms. And now PY properties. PY properties are not special, meaning that generally we are creating properties, right? Like we have created few properties, first name, last name, like that. PY properties are similar to user properties. You can do anything with that PY properties. You can input the values in the user form. You can update the values, anything you can do by using PY properties. And coming to PZ properties that are starting with PZ properties are for system internal processing. Any PZ properties that are being created by process commander are mainly for system internal processing. Users cannot directly manipulate the PZ properties. Means you cannot update the PZ properties at all. Okay, your application may examine these values and do not set them. So even if you are going to set it, PRPC is going to see that, and if it is some value which is not meaningful, process command is going to not set the values. So the PX properties we have seen, PX create datetime, PX update datetime, and all. PY properties are PYID, one of the property we have seen, and PZ property we have seen PZ INS key, which holds the primary key. So primary key means it is very important for the tables. So PZ properties are mainly meant only for system internal processing. So we will discuss now how this system internal processing will be done for PZ properties in case of PZ INS key. Okay, let me summarize. PX create datetime property is going to hold the work object creation date and time, update datetime when it was being last updated, and create operator who is the operator who initiated the transaction and created the case. PX update operator who is the operator who has last edited this particular object, and PYID is the work object ID, PZINS key is the primary key in the Pega tables. So the PX, PY, PZ properties, meaning PX properties, we cannot input the values through HTML forms. PY properties, we can do anything as we do for our own properties. PZ properties are for system internal processing. Those properties you should not be generally assigning any values, because those should be specific values meaningful to process commander. So PRPC will examine and do not set the values if you are assigning something which is not as a predefined format of Pega. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about PZINS key. So what we are going to understand by discussing about PZINS key is we are going to understand the internal design of Pega. So how Pega is being designed to store the objects into the table. So properties and all we have read about properties, right? Can someone please tell me, property is an instance of class. Property is an instance of class. What is the class? Which class it is an instance of?
Rule obj property.
Rule dash obj dash property. Similarly, section is an instance of which class? What is the instance class of section?
Rule HTML section.
Rule HTML section. Okay, now you tell me, what is the definition of work object? What is the definition of work object? What is the definition of work object? It is instance
Unique
of,
identity.
you need to first, basically everyone you should know this definitions. This is very minimum. Instance of class group. So now you tell me, property is an instance of class rule obj property. This is what you are reading from the documents or you are reading from the PDN. You need to interpret this statement with respect to DB table, property related and all. Okay, so how do you interpret and tell me what is this? Property is an instance of class rule obj property. What does that make sense with respect to database? We have already discussed about this. Someone please respond quickly. With respect to database table and storage, how do you interpret this?
The instance of the database table has like entry.
It will make entry into
Every
properties, gets stored into table, which is mapped to rule dash obj dash property. So properties are going to get stored into table rule dash obj dash property. So for this class, which is mapped to this class, for this class, what is the table map? I wanted to know. How would I know? How would I know what is the table which is mapped to that particular class rule obj property? As a developer, you don't have access to database. You have to know it from the front end. How to know about it? How do we know?
Right click
database
on
map,
OBJ
database
property
Using the
and
table mapping rule.
from definition.
You can see from the definition and then, or you can go to table mapping rule also. That is also okay.
Or
You
you
go
can
to
click
the
on the class this connection.
definition and then you say test connection at the bottom. So that the table where the properties are going to get stored is PR4 underscore rule underscore property. See here. Okay, let me open the database table, DB environment of pgadmin so that I can show you the tables and primary keys. So we are now discussing about pgdins key, which is primary key. What is this? Oh my God. I need to restart the server. I need to run one query to change those clients and all, but okay. Without opening database, how do I do it? I'll try one more time. I think it will not open. Anyone has database open? Still I'll face the same issue. Okay, no problem. I will tell you all the tables here. Without opening database also, we can proceed, no worries. See, if you go to work table, we have seen, right? This is the value of the pgdins key. So the value of the pgdins key is this one. See, if you want to know the pgdins key, what is the pgdins key for rules? Let me show you. For the rules, we have created so many properties. We have created sections and all, right? I will open one of the section, and this is the section. So whatever the properties that you see OOTB, as I already told you, columns of same name will be available in the backend tables. So sections are going to get stored into a table which is mapped to its instance class, that is rule HTML section. So here you go, any rule you open and go to view XML. If you go to view XML, so this is the XML format of the data for the rule which you have opened in HTML format. So if you do Control F and then page.ins key. So here you can find the page.ins key value. Here you can find the value of the page.ins key. For property, you open one of the property and go to actions and then view XML and then Control F page.ins key. So these values are going to get stored into backend table. For work object, as you know the page name on the clipboard, you can directly go to clipboard and you go to py work page, and in the py work page you can scroll down and see this is the value of the page.ins key. If I open any other work object, so let me write down here, let's say one more work object, let's say we created, and the work object will store into class group table. So the work object page.ins key will be this one. Work object page.ins key will be this one. If I create one more work object, if I create one more work object, the other work object page.ins key will be this one. So this is the page.ins keys of all the work objects. These page.ins keys will get stored into work table in a column called same name, page.ins key only. Column name is also same, page.ins key. This is the column name. So now if I wanted to interpret this page.ins key, how PRPC is framing this particular key value, we have two parameters here. You need to tell me what are these two parameters. This is one parameter and this is one more parameter. You have to tell me what are these parameters, because for work object you clearly know about all this. Yeah, what is this parameter? First one, class. So everything, there are so many classes. What is this class specifically?
Instance class.
This is instance class of what? This is instance class of
Class group.
class group is okay. This is instance class of which one? What are the instances of this class group? Work object.
Work
Correct.
class.
So this is, yeah, correct. Work class kaadu, work objects. This is instance class. Instance class. After that you have a space. Instance class space. What is the next parameter?
PYID, work object ID.
That is related to work object. You need to tell me in general. In the class rule form, if you go and see, this value related property will be there, PYID. So what do we call PYID? You have told some time back. PYID is, what is the key type for PYID? That is class key. So PRPC is generating page.ins key at runtime. Okay, at runtime, when the object is created, it has generated one page.ins key. So page.ins key is the primary key column of the every table in Pega. So every table in Pega will have one column called page.ins key, that is the primary key. So basically every one of you should, I think you know about what is primary key. Can someone please respond and tell me what is primary key in the database?
Unique value.
Primary key is going to have a unique value getting stored. So if you want to identify any record in the table uniquely, I wanted to fetch only one record uniquely. So what do? We fetch it by primary key only, because that is going to have a unique value. So that is the purpose. So that means here when we are creating work objects, or when we are creating properties, when we are creating sections, flow actions, flows, any rule you create along with work object is going to get stored into backend table which is called a work table, and the work object will be identified by process commander with primary key. That primary key value will be generated by process commander at runtime. It is taking two parameters. One is instance class and the second one is class key. These two combination makes primary key for the work objects. And the work object, anytime if you are opening, PRPC will identify the work object by page.ins key. Similarly, the properties you are creating and the sections you are creating, the flow actions you are creating, all these are going to get stored into backend table. Section is an instance of class rule HTML section. Flow action is an instance of class rule obj flow action. Flow is an instance of class rule obj flow. Okay, like this, activity is an instance of class rule obj activity. Every rule that you create is going to get stored into backend table. Now, when I click on this hyperlink here, you see customer ID section. Section is open here. This is just a HTML form. Here, you click on a hyperlink, it has opened the section. When on click of this, what is exactly happening in the backend? Okay, let me tell you. When you create a section, what you have created gets stored into PR4 underscore rule underscore section table. This is the table. So that this is mapped to which class? What is the class for which this table is mapped to? Someone please respond. So far I told 3 times.
Rule HTML section.
Rule HTML section. So every section that you create is going to get stored into this table. So one row in this table is equal to one section. Antena? One row is equal to, in this table, one row. Suppose I have created 100 sections. How many records will be inserted into this table with data?
100.
100 records. So properties are going to get stored into PR4 underscore rule underscore property. So 100 properties if I create, 100 rows will be inserted into PR4 underscore rule underscore property table. So every rule that you create here, not only property, not only section, flow action, flow, everything. Every rule that we create here, the rules are going to get stored into the respective instance class mapped tables in the backend. It will be stored as one record. So every rule that is getting stored into backend table should be uniquely identified by process commander. For that reason, process commander is going to generate its primary key value at runtime while creation and store the rules with primary key value. Everyone clear with this point? So every rule should be uniquely identified by process commander. For that reason, process commander is going to store the rules into the respective instance tables by generating a primary key value. So we have already discussed about the format of the primary key in case of work objects. In case of work object, the primary key has how many parameters? How many parameters? 2 parameters. What are those?
Instance class and class key.
Instance class space class key. These are the 2 parameters. With the same 2 parameters, we'll try to create, frame PGDNS key for rules. Okay, you understand what is class key, right? Every one of you online, you understand what is class key? Anyone do not know about class key? Let me know quickly. Anyone? Everyone clear, right, about class key? Okay, fine. So now here you go. See, let's say for example, I am going to write instance class also. You are clear, correct? Everyone. Now I have a class called JPMC. In this I have a property. One second. Okay, so JPMC, in this, let's say for example, I have a property called age. See, in case of rules, the class key value is rule name itself. Everyone clear with this point? In case of rules, class key value is what? Rule name itself. So now I have a class called JPMC. In that I have a property by name age. So what is the class key of age property? What is the class key value? Please respond. What is the class key value?
Age only.
Age only. I told you, in case of rules, you take the rule name as class key. As of now, you take it. It will be more or less same. No worries. There will be more class keys, but we are not going to discuss about that. Now I have another class, JPMC dash, let's say work class. In this class, I have a property age. Can we create with same name age property in another class or not? Yes or no?
Yes, we can.
We can create same name, same rule type in many different classes. That is possible. What is the class key of this age property?
Age only.
Same age only, right? Now, considering the format of instance class space class key, you need to tell me the PJDNS key of first age, this one. Instance class, if you clearly understand, you should not say wrong now. Chapandi.
JPMC.
That's what I told. What is the instance class? What is my instance class? Just now you told 3 to 4 times. Now you are
Class.
saying JPMC. What is
Okay.
JPMC here? Is that instance class of age? Is that instance class of age? Is JPMC the instance class for age? What is instance class for age?
JPMC work.
Property, right? Rule
Work.
OBJ property.
Age is a property, I told you, right?
Rule
So what is
OBJ
the
property.
class of property?
Rule
If
OBJ
we
property.
see, it is a common sense that you are missing. Okay, we discussed it so far 10 times. Property instance class of rule OBJ property. When I type something here and ask you about age instance class, you are saying JPMC work. Rule OBJ property. Rule OBJ property is instance class of age. For this age, instance class is rule OBJ property. What about this age? Is it same or different?
Is same.
Same. Now you tell me what is the class key for the first one. Class key.
Age only.
Age only, right? Now, rule OBJ property space age. For the second property also same or not? For the
Yes.
second property also same. With the two parameters, given two parameters which are being used to frame the PJDNS of work object ID, with the same if we are framing the PJDNS key for rules. Here in the example, I am showing you property, but it can be anything, either property or section or flow action or flow. It can be anything. If we are going to frame the same way the PJDNS key for these rules, okay, then the PJDNS key is coming the same for multiple properties, for same properties in different classes. So now the PJDNS key that we have framed for age of JPMC class is this one, and the PJDNS key that we have framed for the age property of JPMC work class is the second one. Both are same. Is it okay to generate the same PJDNS key value and store two different rules in the same table? So these both should get stored into rule OBJ property table only. Then in that case, these two PJDNS keys are same. Can we store these two properties generating the same PJDNS key? Is it possible for process commander?
No.
No.
It is not possible. So the PJDNS key framing with only two parameters, which is instance class and class key, in case of rules, is not being possible to store. The reason is PJDNS key is being duplicate. I mean, it is generating the same PJDNS key again. Similarly, if we talk about section, let's say section name is customer details section. Same section, I have created JPMC work class. Now you need to tell me the PJDNS key for the section. With the same two parameters, you tell me. Class key is rule name itself. Someone please respond, make it fast. What is the first parameter value?
Rule HTML
HTML.
section.
Rule HTML section. Second parameter?
Customer details section.
Perfect. So the PJDNS key of this section and this section will be same or not? With the two parameters only.
Same.
Yes.
Same. So the one which is working fine with two parameters of instance class and class key, in case of work object, if process command is generating the PJDNS key with two parameters, okay, because every work object ID class key is unique, it is okay, it is being satisfied and storing uniquely. But in case of rules, either properties or sections or flow actions or flows, if it is going to generate only with 2 parameters, it is not working out. Okay, because it is generating the duplicate with only 2 parameters, rule HTML section, custody detail section, same name. If you create section in some other classes, again it should generate the same. So in case of rules, PGINSKey will have multiple parameters. So the first one is instance class. Okay, let's try this first of all, not in a way to look at everything. Let's try this. Instance class plays rule class. What is meant by rule class? The class in which the rule is created. The class in which the rule is created. And you know class key, you know instance class, and the class in which the rule is being created also you should know. Now from these two, you tell me for age property with the 3 parameters now. 2 parameters we know. Rule obj property space age. I am writing the same here. And in between you have one more. Now, what is the middle one? Rule class. The class in which the rule is being created. For this one I am asking. For this one you tell me.
JPMC.
JPMC.
Come here, JPMC. Now for the second one, you tell me, second property.
Rule obj property, JPMC work.
-work.
JPMC work and then age. Is it going to be unique now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Is it unique? If PRPC is going to generate like this by adding one more parameter called rule class, as of now we see that it is unique. Okay, let me tell you one thing now. That is, age property is there in version 1. Okay, and in the same class I modified age to create version 2. Can we create or not? Rules at version 1, rules at version 2, same property.
We can.
Yes, we can.
Right? So I have age property. This is already there in the rule obj property table. Now I did a save as of age property and again created the age property in version 2. It is possible. Now this instance also should store into table only. Now for this second age property, what is the PGINSKey? In the same class. For this one, PGINSKey is this, and for this version 2, PGINSKey is this one. So both are now matching or not? PGINSKeys are matching.
Yes.
It is duplicated. Now, is it possible to store only with these 3 parameters? Again,
No.
the 3 parameters, is it working out or not working out?
It doesn't.
It's not working.
It's not
You
working
have
out
to add
because
more.
it will not work, because with the 3 parameters also you see a duplicate key is being generated. That means when you create version 2, it should not be able to store. So we need one more parameter. That is, it is not version. PRPC will not take versions, because I'll tell you the reason why. If it takes versions, again we have one more concept called circumstance. Within one version, we can create 2 instances again. So versioning also, if you add version number also, it will fail. It has to go for one more parameter. That's why PRPC will not go with version. PRPC will go with when it has been created. It will be a unique value for sure, right? Everyone clear? So now for the rules, PGINSKey framing or generating will be having 4 parameters. For work object, how many parameters are there? PGINSKey?
2 parameters.
2 parameters. That is fair enough. It is being unique. So every rule that you are creating is an instance of some class. At the time when you create the rule, process command is going to store the rules into respective tables, and the primary key to identify that rules, process commander is going to generate a unique value and stores that unique primary key value into a column. That column is PGINS key column. What is the column? PGINS key column. Everyone clear? The PGINS key column is the primary key column of every table in Pega. You go to backend and open any table and look at the table properties and see what is the primary key. For every table you see PGINS. So in case of property, in case of work object, PGINSKey will have 2 parameters. One is instance class and the second one is class key. And in case of rules, the PGINSKey will have 4 parameters. Instance class, space, rule class, space. 1 minute. Yeah. In case of rules, the pre-join key value is instance class space rule class space rule name, that is class key space. What is the next one? The create date time of that particular instance. Everyone clear with this? Every one of you. Now this is going to be unique. PRPC, you may ask me like, why not it will be using version number here? Suppose if it is created in version 1.0.1.0.1.0.1, it is created in version 2.0.1.0.1.0.2. You may ask me like, it is going to be unique. Why not process command is using version number? For that, you need to understand one more concept that will be covered in future. That is circumstancing. In a circumstancing concept, within same version, with the same version, age created in version 1, again I can create age in another version. But circumstancing cannot be done in for properties, but that is okay. For section, let's say section you create in version 1, within same version 1, we can create one more instance of the same section with same name. So even version number will not work out. That's why PRPC has come up with this one. So for every rule, for any rule, if you wanted to know what is the pgid key value of the rule, you need to click on actions and then you go to view XML and here control F pgid key. So here you see that is rule HTML section, that is instance class, rule class, the class in which rule is created, class key, that is rule name, and when it has been created. With all these 4 parameters, pgid key will be uniquely generated. Everyone clear with this? Every one of you. Everyone should ping me on charting window. Why did you learn all this? You are trying to understand the design of Pega. You are trying to understand design of Pega. Okay. So let us go now and discuss about the next method which we are going to work on. That is OBJ open by handle. Today theory and tomorrow practical. OBJ open by handle. This is the method. So we have already worked on a method called OBJ open. Can someone please tell me what is the purpose of OBJ open method? What does it do?
It will fetch single instance.
OBJ open fetch single instance based on
Class key.
that you should
Primary.
say. You should say single row or record or instance. Single row based on class key. Similarly, OBJ open by handle also fetches single record or single instance based on primary key. Based on what? Primary key. So I told you the template of OBJ open, right? Let's go to activity and look at it. So OBJ open template is define the page for which from which table you are fetching the data, and then create the page and open the record. And after you open, whatever you wanted to do, you can do. So now let's go ahead and see OBJ open my handle. OBJ open, what are the parameters? The class, this one. Can someone please tell me what is this class all about?
The data type.
What is this class? In the OBJ open, I am passing a class. Which class it should be?
Data class.
The table class from which we are trying to fetch the data. Yeah, please mute the other person who is talking to someone else. Please mute. And here, what is this value? What is this parameter? What do you call this?
Class key.
Class key.
Class
And
key.
you are passing a value for it. Okay. Now you go with OBJ open by handle method. Let me add. Okay, I'm sorry, not here. Here, I have added one more step. OBJ open by handle. In this method, you see parameters. In the parameters, it has only instance handle. Instance handle meaning value of pgid ins key. So pgid ins key. For work object, look at here. I told you already, for work object pgid ins key is this one. So I will pass this. OBJ open by handle. It is similarly, you define a page for the table class and you are going to mention the table class page here. Okay, and you do obj open by handle, and here you are providing the page line. Unlike obj open, in the open by handle, we are not passing the open class separately. We are passing the open class through instance handle PagerINSKey. PagerINSKey itself has what is the open class. So from the PagerINSKey value, it will take this class and go to the respective table and open the record by using whole value. What is the whole value? Primary key. So now it will fetch a record from the table by using primary key value. Everyone clear with this? Every one of you clear?
So instance handle is the PZ-INSKey, right?
The instance handle is PagerINSKey. That's what I told now. Just now. Instance handle means PagerINSKey. Okay. Everyone clear? Okay. So obj open by handle is a method which is used to fetch single instance from the table where we pass PagerINSKey value to the obj open by handle. Similarly, obj open, what we have discussed, first define a page to the target table class in the pages and classes tab, and then create that page and then open that object by using obj open. Similarly, obj open by handle also define a page in the pages and classes for the target table, create that page and then do obj open by handle and mention the table class related page as step page and pass the PagerINSKey value. PagerINSKey value itself has the class name. So PRPC will go to this class table and open one record by using the whole PagerINSKey because it is the primary key value. It will be uniquely able to identify and open only one record. Everyone clear with this? Every one of you clear?
Yeah.
Okay, this is about obj open by handle method. Okay, now
Harsha, one doubt.
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for OBJ open, apart from work class, if you want to open any data classes, then we go for OBJ open. If you want to go for work class, then only we will go for OBJ open by handle.
Did I say that? Did I say that anytime?
It's not like that, but I
Interpret
work
like that.
class.
Did not discuss like that. Just
Okay.
throw it away from your mind. Anything obj open or obj open by handle you are using, you can apply on any table. Okay, but while you are going through open, make sure you pass class keys. While you're going through open by handle, make sure you pass PagerINSKey. That's it. It's not this table and that table.
Okay.
Okay, any table. Okay, so now I can open work object from work table by using either obj open, or I can open work object from work table by using either obj open by handle. If you have class key, then you use obj open only. That is fair enough. If you have PagerINSKey, then you use obj open by handle. Okay, let me tell you the next requirement that we are going to work on. So far we have learned about obj browse, obj open, obj save, all this, and we discussed about locking, everything, right? So we are now going to work on a business requirement. I mean, tomorrow we will be working on the requirement, but today I will explain. The requirement which we are going to work on, it is going to have or use all the methods which we have learned so far. Okay, obj browse will come into this requirement, obj save will come into this requirement, obj open or open by handle will come into this requirement, along with locking concept which we have learned also will come into this requirement. So all that what we have learned in activities so far, all the methods together in one single activity, that is how we are going to work on one business requirement. So if you are able to, if you are going to work, if you have to work on this requirement and implement this, you should have completed working on obj open. You should have clear idea about obj open. You should have completed working on obj browse. You should have clear idea about obj browse, and you should have worked on obj save requirements which you have done, and you should have clear idea about obj save and defer queue concepts, and also the concept which we have learned about locking, that will be applied in the next business requirement. So you should have clear idea about locking, lock tables and all that, and also you should have the idea about commit method which we have discussed. That also we are going to use. Everyone clear with this, what we are going to work on? So in the next requirement, all this will be used and implemented. Okay, you write down the requirement first. Today you must have to write down the requirement. Everyone write down. Working with, write down, working with obj open by handle, working with, everyone write down, working with obj open by handle, comma, locking, locking, L-O-C-K-I-N-G, locking, that concept, working with obj open by handle, comma, locking, comma, commit, and other obj methods, all the other obj methods which we have learned so far, we will apply in one business, we will use in one business requirement. Okay, all of this we are going to work on. Write down, create a standalone generic activity. Parameters concept also will be used in this. Whatever the concepts you have learned so far, every concept will within one single activity now. Create a standalone generic activity. Create a standalone generic activity to update existing work objects status. So work object status concept also will come into this requirement. Create a standalone generic activity to update existing work objects status to a new status. You are done writing? Right? Okay. Now someone please respond. What did you understand? Standalone activity, generic activity. What did you understand from the term generic activity? What does it mean? Generic activity and
framework application.
It's not about framework or implementation. Generally, generic activity means it should be used for any work object to update. It's not specifically only one. Okay. From any status to any status. That is what, old status to some existing status to new status. It can be any status. Suppose if I give so and so status today and new status is something, it should update the status current status to new status. The status is not constant here. It can be from any status to any status. Standalone activity, what does that mean? What is meant by standalone activity?
It's not called within the flow.
It's it is not part of the flow. You said the same. I didn't get it actually.
Yes, it's not called within the flow. It's by itself.
Correct. Perfect. So the activity is not going to be part of the flow. It is a standalone. Means you might be directly executing, or you might be executing this by agents or by services or some other things, but not part of the flow. That is perfect. It is not part of the flow. So generic activity. This is generic activity, standalone activity. Okay. This is in this requirement. We are going to implement this requirement by using all the concepts which we have learned so far. In this requirement, we'll get obj browse, we'll get open or open by handle, we'll get obj save, we'll get property sets and all, we'll get use the locking concept, and work object status what we have used will also come here in this requirement, and commit and all we have discussed, right? Commit, rollback, all that we have discussed. Do you remember? Okay, all that also will come into this requirement. So every concept we have learned so far and which we have worked on will be in one single requirement where we are going to write the activity for the same. So how many parameters you define for this activity? From the definition, I mean to say from the requirement, you just look at the requirement and tell me how many parameters will be there for this activity. Main parameters I'm asking about. And what are those? How many parameters? Easy ga చెప్పొచ్చు.
For status, we need a parameter.
For status, we need how many parameters?
Two parameters.
We need perfect 2 parameters. One is current status, which is already there in the database for that work object, and the second one is new status. Correct? It is not constant. You give any status for current status, any status for new status. Those current status object to be pulled from the table and to be updated back to the table. Right? Everyone should know about differ queue concept. While we are working with this, differ queue is also very, very important. Every concept we have learned so far will be applied in one requirement. That is how it is designed. Okay. So two parameters mainly, current status and then new status. Okay. We will do it tomorrow. Okay. You try to analyze the requirement, how to do it. And also one more new concept we will be learning in this requirement called for loops. Okay. I will explain you about for loop tomorrow morning. Once I explain you about looping, it is just 2 minutes. We can straightforward work on the business requirement. I will explain you the functionally how to implement the requirement, and then the same I will apply it technically. Okay. Fine. We can wind up for today. So yes, please.
Acha, I have a small doubt regarding this PGINS key.
Go ahead.
You know, is it PGINS key is generated automatically? How can we get that?
Look at here now. For example, I'm creating a property. Okay. Create property. Property name is, let's say test1. Just hang on. Test1. I'm creating, this is the property. Okay. Create and open. So this property, is it been created by this time or it is not created? From the form you should be able to say, is it created or not yet created? Yet to be created.
Yet to be created.
It is yet to be created because you don't have delete button here. If it is created, you should have delete. The moment I click on the save button, I am clicking on save now. The moment I click on this save button, now PGINS key is generated and it is stored into backend table, and it is showing the same form in the front end where you have a delete button. It is created now. You understand what moment it is being created?
Yes, I understand now. Yeah.
That's it. Now it is generated by process commander automatically.
Okay.
Okay, what is the PGINS key? How would I know for this one? Actions. View XML.
You go to view XML.
Right? Everyone clear?
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will continue tomorrow morning, same time, regular time, same meeting ID. The meeting ID which you are using now, the same meeting ID, and we will just go ahead and practically work on the business requirement. Everyone should be thorough with what are the concepts that have been discussed so far. Every concept in one single requirement. Okay. Fine. Thank you very much.